You know, many of the times that I have demonstrated gambling techniques to laymen, some of them have told me that they are considering practicing these techniques with the intention of using them in real games. Now, one advice that I have to give to those of you who are thinking of doing this is that before you try anything, you have to practice till you reach the point where you can locate an ace in any deck. Now, most of you will have seen videos and films about card slides, and one very common demonstration in such videos is how you can start with an ace on top, give the deck a few cuts, and still end up with that ace on top again. Now, some of you will be aware that apart from cutting the deck as many times as you want, you can also throw in as many shuffles as you want, and still end up with that ace on top. Now, of course, one ace does not give you such a great advantage in a poker game, so it would be advisable if you could also locate another ace. Now, a third ace would also be very helpful, and if you could find the last ace, then you could really get your hopes up. Now, if you could do that, I mean, locate the four aces from any deck and control them to the top of the deck, there's no point why you should stop there. Instead, you could use these aces to gain an advantage in the game. This could be done through stacking the aces, and this is basically a series of shuffling in which you should keep in mind that I'm not primarily concerned with how the rest of the deck is being shuffled, but my basic concern is the exact positions that the aces are shuffled in the deck. So let's try a five-handed poker game. You'll see who gets the aces. Now, of course, four aces in a poker game do make sure that you win the pot, but they don't necessarily mean that you win a large pot. That's why I gave the first player four tens, and the second player will surely bet heavily on his four jacks, and so will the third player on his four queens, and the fourth player will back his four kings to the bitter end. Now, what I just did is considered to be, by many people, the most difficult thing you can achieve at a game. But I always thought that there had to be an ultimate gambling slide, something that goes far beyond classic methods that can be used. And through a long time of experimenting and practicing, I think that I'm finally able to try and succeed in doing what I consider to be an ultimate achievement in gambling slides. Keep in mind that this time I'm not stacking for a poker game, but instead I'm stacking for a bridge game, and those of you who play bridge will know that bridge is played with four players and the whole deck is dealt, which means that each player ends up with 13 cards. Now, the strongest hand in bridge is 13 cards of the same suit, kinda like the royal flush in poker, and the odds against getting that kind of hand are about 152 billion to 1. It's called a Grand Slam hand in bridge. Of course, you realize that these odds apply in an honest game, because in a game that's not too honest, I could give the first player all 13 clubs, which of course are worse than all 13 diamonds, which of course are beaten by all 13 hearts, but the strongest hand in bridge is all 13 spades.